Victoria has recorded 37 new cases of coronavirus and 6 deaths in the past 24 hours. Reporter Zalika Rizmal is in Melbourne. Now, Zalika, what do these numbers mean for the easing of restrictions there across Victoria?
Well, we're definitely on the right track. 37 new cases, sadly 6 deaths. That means our death toll is now at 716. But it is the lowest daily jump in cases that we've seen since late June. That's the last time when we had new cases back in the 30s. So quite encouraging news there. We saw yesterday we had 43 new cases, the day before 51. So we're definitely seeing this steady decrease. In fact, active cases are now at 1,251. Incredibly, that's down from almost 8,000 in the middle of August. And in regional Victoria, they now have only 58 active cases right across those areas. So in terms of the restrictions, for Melbourne to move out to the next step under the Victorian government's roadmap, we need fewer than 50 average cases over a 14-day period. We're now at 61.6. Yesterday it was 65.3, so we're seeing it decrease daily. As for regional Victoria, which needs 5 or less than 5 cases over a 14-day period, they're now sitting at 4.3. Now, the Premier spoke a short time ago. In fact, I believe he's still speaking, and he said that, in fact, regional Victoria is on track to ease restrictions faster than expected, that they could move 2 steps and skip a step by the middle of next week. Now, in addition to that, the Premier also urged Melburnians, to look to regional Victoria as proof that the government's approach is working. Here's some of what he had to say a short time ago.
I hope every single person in Metro Melbourne is looking to the numbers in regional Victoria and seeing what can be delivered. Absolutely, this strategy can be delivered, and it is being delivered, and regional Victoria is so close, just a few days, and they will potentially be able to take not just 1 but 2 of those steps and be essentially open.
Daniel Andrews there. Now, Zalika, the chairman of the worst hit aged care home has also resigned, so what can you tell us about that?
That's right. Well, the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of Australia yesterday announced the resignation of the chairman of St Basil's Home for the Aged, Konstantinos Kontis. Now, the Archdiocese manages that facility. We're told that although he's stepped down as chairman, he is still on the board to deal with any legal or practical issues arising from the pandemic. But of course, St Basil's was home to the deadliest outbreak in aged care that we've seen in the country, with 44 deaths linked to that facility. There's also a coronial investigation underway into St Basil's as well as a class action. Yesterday, we also saw some new data come out showing that of all the aged care deaths in Australia, as of yesterday, that was 580, 95% of them are in Victoria, and only 29 deaths outside of Victoria. So aged care is an ongoing concern. We know that currently there's 25 facilities which have seen deaths in the double digits, and although we're seeing these numbers in aged care go down today, we've gone down to 625 active cases. Obviously that is still sizable, so it remains a concern as we move forward.
It certainly does. Our reporter Zalika Rizmal there in Melbourne. Let's turn now to New South Wales, which has recorded 6 new coronavirus cases overnight, with an aquatic centre in the state's Blue Mountains closed after a person who visited the venue tested positive. Reporter Jonathan Hare comes to us now with more detail. So, Jonathan, just take us through the latest numbers across New South Wales today.
So the latest information that was released by New South Wales Health just a short time ago is that there are 6 new cases in the state in that 24-hour reporting period, which included most of yesterday. That's after 20,000 tests were done throughout the state. One of those cases, there was a returned traveller in hotel quarantine. 5 of those cases are linked to known clusters, known local clusters, but it does mean that they were locally transmitted. Of those cases, 4 of them are from the Concord Hospital cluster. That's an emerging cluster that's we've heard a lot about this week. But also for the area I'm in now, which is the Blue Mountains, there's been a case confirmed at Blue Mountains Grammar School. Now, New South Wales Health is working with the school to identify any contacts of that person, and those people are being told to get tested immediately and keep isolating until they receive a negative test.
So, Jonathan, that's in addition to the case that we've also heard about at the Katoomba Sport and Aquatic Centre.
Yeah, that's right. It's a case we've heard about at this aquatic centre behind me, Sports and Aquatic Centre. That case was here on Friday, the 4th of September, from 11:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. People who were at the aquatic centre at that time are being asked to get tested immediately and isolate until their test comes back negative. Here today, the centre is absolutely closed. It's sort of a little bit out of the main drag of town, so there aren't many people around, but the centre is closed at the moment on what you'd imagine. It's quite a nice day. It's not too cold, so you'd imagine people would be swimming here normally.
Our reporter Jonathan Hare there with the latest in the Blue Mountains in New South Wales.